The reason why we acquired data centers in cities and the pipeline are in major metropolitan areas is that with respect to AI, latency is very important. If you have a data center that's in a remote area, you're not going to do very well for AI inference applications.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Sam Tabar. He is the CEO of Bit Digital. And Sam, it's great to have you back again. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Company out with your financial numbers for Q3 2024, showing 96% revenue growth. Just on the top line, pretty happy with where you're at, Sam?
Yeah, the revenue growth has been great, and we are really happy that we created a new business line in HPC in relation to our GPU as a service business and our data center that we acquired. And currently, we're at our target run rate, annualized run rate revenue for that HPC business. We said that we'd get to 100 million by the end of the year. We're now at 80 million. So we feel really confident in getting to our target run rate of 100 million before the end of the year. However, the headline number doesn't necessarily look too good because we have a digital assets position. There's an unrealized loss in our digital assets position, but that has swung the other way since Trump's election. And so our digital assets position is looking much better now. And that's an unrealized loss. So there's much to gain on that.
Yeah, just talking about the high performance computing, the HPC business you talked about, Sam. Can you talk a little bit about why that has become so profitable, so people understand that this is a really growing and continuing to growing market?
That's right. So, with respect to our HPC revenue, we had 12.2 million of revenue during the quarter compared to zero the prior year. And the reason why we got into that market is that AI applications are growing exponentially. There will be an unending demand for AI applications in this new era. And it's just been a lot of insatiable demand. Bitcoin miners have a skill set of identifying specialized computers and connecting them to the correct data centers and mining Bitcoin. That skill set is something that we leveraged for high performance computing. So we now identify the right data centers, and we actually even acquired a data center. And we have a formal relationship with NVIDIA. So we're able to get the specialized equipment to rent out computational power to people who are building AI applications. And the margins on that are quite lucrative. In fact, you would have to have Bitcoin more than double where it is today just to approach the margins of our HPC business. And one of the nicest things about the HPC business is that we're able to predict the revenues per month, whereas with Bitcoin, you just never know where the price of Bitcoin is going to be. And so that was all over the place. Whereas with HPC, I know by the penny where our revenues are going to be every month.
Sam, you talked about the acquisitions that you made a bit earlier, Enovum and Boosteroid. Can you talk us through a little bit about the importance of those to these particular numbers? And you had actually predicted that they were going to be really positive for the bottom line. It seems like that's the case.
Yeah, that the markets have understood the strategic value of having Enovum, the data center that we acquired in Montreal. And we have, with that team that's been building tier 3 data centers their entire career, we have a roadmap and a proprietary pipeline of 288 megawatts. And all of these are in metropolitan cities. The reason why we acquired data centers in cities and the pipeline are in major metropolitan areas is that with respect to AI, latency is very important. If you have a data center that's in a remote area, you're not going to do very well for AI inference applications. You'll do fine if your data center is in a remote area for training models, that's fine. Latency is not important. But for inference, which is where the industry eventually is going after training, you have to have the data center in the cities to reduce latency. Every micromillisecond is important when it comes to AI, particularly on the inference models. And so to have the data center in the city reduces the time.
Well, it was a very good quarter, and as you mentioned, you're hoping for more of that to come as it continues on ruling in 2024. Sam, thanks so much. Good to catch up with you, and appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, there is Sam Tabar. He is the CEO of Bit Digital.